What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the greatest city in the world, Wrestling City. As always, I'm Taylor, and this is your WWE SmackDown review for November 21st, 2025. It's kind of crazy that we got probably the best episode of not just Raw, but SmackDown of 2025 in the same week. I can't remember the last time where both Raw and SmackDown were this good in the same week. I mean, this was by far the best SmackDown from top to bottom that we've gotten in months. I mean, it's been a while since I've come on here, and really, I can't think of anything that I didn't enjoy on this show. As of right now, I can't. But we're going to, as always, go through this SmackDown. I'll give you just go do a little rundown of what we saw tonight and give my thoughts as we go through here. So let's get this going. Let's get this SmackDown review started the right way with the opening of the show. We started off with the Vision, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul standing in the center of the ring. Paul Heyman says he has a vision for WarGames, and he is going to bestow that vision on each and every one of us. In WarGames, 5 of your heroes are going to be locked in a double cage where Braun Breaker is going to take a bite out of everyone's asses. Pause. What do you mean by that, Mr. Heyman? I mean, I hope he isn't being serious when he says that about Braun Breaker, but who knows? I mean, it is war games after all, so anything can happen in war games, and that would probably be legal. Just let's not do that, please. He says Big Bronson Reed will subject each of them to multiple tsunamis. He says 5 main event superstars are going to learn about war games, that there's a strategy and there's evil strategy that proves you're the lowest scumbag on earth, so putrid that the devil himself would sell his soul to you. Mm. And it's his privilege to introduce you to the Maverick, Logan Paul. Now, before we get into what happens next here in this segment, first of all, I didn't get to see this segment live. I didn't tune into the show until it's funny enough. It's like every time I'm late to these shows and when I tune in, the first thing I tune into is Ilya Dragunov and his US Title Open challenge. This is like the third time where I was late tuning into the show, and when I tune into the show, Ilya Dragunov is having his US Open title challenge. That's just kind of funny to me. But so, like I said, I didn't see this segment live, but I saw a clip circulating on social media where it looked like Logan Paul had his promo written on his hand. If John Cena was here, he would have said "nice tattoo." But Cena isn't here, and we won't see Cena on TV ever again, unfortunately. But so then out come the Usos. They come down through the aisleway. Jey Uso says nobody wants to hear what Logan has to say, and Heyman is running his mouth like they didn't truck his crew on Monday Night Raw this week. Paul says they're just pissing him off and says he created the bloodline so Roman Reigns' family could eat. And the first thing he taught them in the bloodline is that the numbers game always wins. He's not wrong about that. Heyman counts his 4 men off against the two Usos and says they're about to get their asses whooped. CM Punk chants rain down, and so did some OTC chants. And Big Jim says they learned from Paul Heyman, and you didn't actually think they'd show up alone, did you? And then we hear the theme song for the WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, or we thought we were going to get Cody Rhodes. They go backstage and they show Cody Rhodes' tour bus, who parked outside by one of the bays in the back, in the parking lot, and the door opens to the tour bus, and Drew McIntyre gets out of Cody Rhodes' bus and reveals Cody Rhodes is in the tree of woe off the steering wheel with his forehead gashed open and bleeding. The Usos run to the loading dock where a crew member is checking on Cody and calling for a medic. Jimmy and Jay get there first and pull him out of the bus, and we go to the break. Before I go any further, this right here, this is exactly what we needed going into this War Games match. We needed this intensity. We needed this hatred from one team to another. And the thing is, why couldn't we get any of this between Cody and Drew the last 2 months, leading into the WrestlePalooza match or leading into their match that they just had? Where was that at? Where did they just? What was their last PLE? I can't even think of what their last PLE was, but that's besides the point. But this is exactly what we needed. And I said this like 2 weeks ago that in order for them to make me care about the War Games match this year, we need this. We need all. Well, we didn't get all 10 guys on the show tonight. We will this Monday. We did this week on Raw, and we got 8 of them or 7 of them tonight. And I mean, I'm really loving how they're building up to this War Games match. It truly feels like this match needs to take place in War Games. This is something that's been missing for the last couple years, I believe, when we're going into War Games. So it's nice to see that they're kind of ramping it up a little bit, kind of lighting it up just a little bit, getting that fire going. So that's nice to see. But I mean, that's pretty much it that we got from that segment. I mean, they come back from commercial break, and they're still outside with Cody and the Usos. Medics check on Rhodes while Drew McIntyre taunts him from his car, and then he drives off laughing. Um, so next up, we had the United States Open Challenge. Julian Dragunov, he took on JD McDonough. So JD McDonough was in the building tonight because Finn Balor would be going one-on-one against Penta later on in the night in the Last Time Is Now tournament. This was a really good match. Like I said earlier, this is where I picked up in the show, and I mean, pretty good way to start off the show for me at least. Another great match. JD McDonough, he is extremely underrated, and I'm glad that they're giving him more opportunities in the ring because he is one of the. I mean, he's one of the best that they have right now in that company, and I hope that they see this and we get. I would love to see a singles title run from JD McDonough at some point. I think he could do well on his own. Obviously, he'll just need some character and some more mic time, but I think he could carry his own on his own. So, but like I said, another great match here between Ilya Dragunov and in this U.S. Title Open Challenge. But like I said last week, I would like for him to get into a feud with a story. It looks like, I mean, they're kind of slow burning this with him and Tommaso Ciampa. So I mean, we'll see if they get further into that where they actually have a feud for the United States Championship. But yeah, Ilya Dragunov, he just doesn't miss when it comes to these matches in this U.S. Title Open Challenge. So yeah, but Ilya Dragunov, he won by hitting a H bomb. So pretty good match. So we go backstage where Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are walking, and Bliss she's trying to get Charlotte and Alexa, not Charlotte and Alexa, Charlotte and Rhea on the same page. So she walks Charlotte into a room where Rhea and Io were already sitting, and they they're about to have a conversation, Rhea and Charlotte, to figure things out and to see if they're truly on the same page. So next up, let's see here. Next up, we got the last time is now tournament first round match: Bronson Reed versus Carmelo Hayes. This is a really good match. Carmelo Hayes, he advances. I said this Monday on Raw, and I said last week on my SmackDown review that Carmelo Hayes needed to win this match. And first of all, he also needed two things why he needed to win this match. Is because we need some youth advancing in this tournament. You look at the field. I'm about to pull up the bracket here in just a second because we finally got a bracket for this tournament. And we also got some breaking news coming out of this tournament, which I'll get to in just a second. So, but yeah, Carmelo Hayes, he just needed to advance because Bronson Reed, it'd be nice to see him mix it up with some of the other guys in this tournament, but he's kind of locked up inside in this whole war game situation, so it only made sense for Carmelo Hayes to advance here, which he did, and he got some help. So you had the Braun Breaker, Logan Paul eventually made their way down to the ring to kind of help out Bronson Reed, but that backfired because the Usos would then show up, and then Cody Rhodes showed up. I was surprised to see him after what happened to him earlier tonight. Paul Heyman, he's got the ref's attention. He's got the ref occupied on the other side of the ring because when the Usos came out, the Usos and Braun Breaker and Logan Paul all brought away, like off to the crowd, away from the ring and all that. So Paul Heyman's like yelling at the official, and the official can't see what's going on between Hayes and Bronson Reed on the other side of the ring, where Cody Rhodes showed up and he pushed Bronson Reed into the post of the turnbuckle, and then he hit him with a crossroads. He threw Carmelo Hayes back into the ring, and then the ref finally turns around. He sees Bronson Reed laid out on the outside of the ring, and he starts to count to the count of 10, and he does just that, and Carmelo Hayes wins by a count out. And I'm okay with that. They did the right thing moving Carmelo Hayes on in this tournament, and also they don't hurt Bronson Reed any. He lost by a count out, so they they made it safe. They gave him the loss in the safe way. But we got a promo following this match, Cody Rhodes, and this was one hell of a promo. Cody Rhodes gets on the mic. He says Bronson is the best of the group, but he won't figure it out until he looks in the lights. Then he says, Braun, history shows a Steiner is never better than a Rhodes. Logan, do a flip. Go ahead and get your drone. Nobody cares. Brock Lesnar, he was the last guy to beat him. Paul Heyman, you build him and he'll beat him. He says, WarGames, the match be on. It's the damn birthright, and he'll see Paul in San Diego. What a promo from Cody Rhodes. I mean, Cody Rhodes' best promos are when he's got that intensity. He's fired up. He's just yelling into the mic. Those are the best Cody Rhodes promos. So we got a DIY and Fraxium match, a pretty solid tag team match. DIY won because Candice LeRae pulled Axiom's mask off, so that allowed. So he gets his mask pulled off, and now he's like laying on the ground with his face all covered up. Johnny Gargano saw that, ran to the cover, and just covered him. It's kind of funny, I guess. Axiom was just like, fuck it, I don't have my mask on, so I'm not going to continue to wrestle. So he just laid there and let Johnny Gargano pin him. Next up, we had the last match in the first round of the Last Time Is Now tournament, Finn Balor versus Penta. Any guesses on who won this match? Because it definitely wasn't Finn Balor. That guy just can never win a match on his own. It's crazy, but yes, Penta did retain, and this is where I will pull up the bracket that we finally got. So here you go. Here is the bracket. So we've got on one side, you've got Jey Uso versus Rusev, and you've got LA Knight. And as you see right there, he will be taking on another mystery opponent because Sheamus is going to be out of action. He suffered a shoulder injury. I guess he suffered this injury during that six-man tag team match that he had on Raw with Cena and Rey Mysterio. So, and then on the other side, you've got Penta versus Solo Sikoa, and you've got Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes. So, man, I'm kind of getting worried here because I have a feeling that that mystery opponent is going to be Joe Hendry. And what scares me here is when I'm looking at this bracket, and God, man, I really hope they don't do this, but it really looks like we're going to be getting a Gunther and Jey Uso final. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope it's going to be Gunther and LA Knight because I just don't want to see Gunther and Jey Uso again. I mean, does anybody want to see that match again? I really don't. So yeah, I mean that's like, I mean, because I think it's pretty obvious now that Gunther is going to move on to the finals, and he's either going to be facing LA Knight or Jey Uso. And if it's either of those two guys, give me LA Knight, please, please. I I don't even want to think about another Jey Uso and Gunther match. We've seen that way too many times. We've seen it what, four times I think this year. So yes, let's not do that, please. So all right, we end the night off with a segment. This is where we're going to find out the fifth member for each of the women's War Games teams. So Rhea gets on the mic and says the Kabuki Warriors, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax weren't prepared for them to be on the same page to the extent they are. And that's how you find out who's real and who's fake. And she wants to go to war with the right people. People like her friend Io, as skilled and as dangerous, ready to come in swinging when necessary. And then there's Alexa and Charlotte. They may not be best of friends, but at the end of the day, Rhea knows that she can trust them and she can trust her. But that's only four, and War Games calls for five. So she introduces their fifth member, and I think we all knew who this fifth member was going to be. It is none other than AJ Lee. AJ Lee comes out, music blaring through the arena. But before she can get to the ring, Nia Jax and Lash Legend and the Kabuki Warriors attack Rhea and company in the ring from behind. It kind of took a while for AJ Lee to see this because she was kind of, skipping around the um, top of the aisleway looking at the crowd, and then she finally sees that, so she starts running down to the ring. But before she can get to the ring, Becky Lynch blindsides her from the side, laying her out, and Becky Lynch will now be the fifth member on the Kabuki Warriors team. Now, I don't know. It's just something about this woman's War Games that I'm just not excited as I am for the men's War Games. I get that they're trying their best to make this feel as important as the men's War Games, but I I mean this match really doesn't belong inside War Games. I mean the only history you got in this match are Rhea and Io and the Kabuki Warriors, and then AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Charlotte and Alexa don't have anything to do with either of these people in this match. Lash Legend and Nia Jax, they don't have anything to do with each other in this match. So I mean, I'm sure the match will be fine. I'm not sure though because you got Nia Jax in there, so she might go in there and stink it up like she did last year. But I mean that's pretty much it for the War Games. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Though I'm just not feeling this women's War Games match. I'm just not. But I mean, other than that, it was a really solid episode of SmackDown this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they can keep this momentum going to close out the year and leading into Royal Rumble season and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Credit to Road Dogg for finally putting on a solid episode of SmackDown. But that's about it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of SmackDown. Let me know what was your favorite part of the show. Yeah. And if you guys did enjoy this review, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more wrestling reviews just like this one. For Raw reviews, I even do watch alongs for Raw, SmackDowns, PLEs, PLE reviews, and a whole bunch of other content. So come join Wrestling City. I promise you, you will enjoy your stay right here in Wrestling City. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. We're just 20 away. Just 20 away, and I would love to hit that goal by Thanksgiving. So when I get to Thanksgiving, I am thankful for 500 subscribers. But that's about it. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. God bless. Peace.